I caught her friends convincing her to fake a breakup to test me. When she said, "It's over," I played along. "No, please," I begged. "Who will help me pay off my secret gambling debts?" Her test came to a screeching halt as her friends looked at her in shock. It's wild how you can love someone with your whole chest, honest, loyal, all in, and they'll still treat you like you're part of some twisted social experiment. That's exactly what happened. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't spying. I was just passing by her place one night, planning to surprise her with her favorite takeout and a movie. You know, something simple to say, "I'm thinking of you." I had no idea that what I'd hear from just outside her door would make my stomach twist and my whole perception of our relationship implode. I heard them before I even knocked. Her friends. The same three that always acted like they ran her life. Whispering, giggling, saying things like, "Just fake a breakup and see how he reacts. Yeah. If he doesn't fight for you, you'll know he's not serious. And if he does, you win." I stood frozen. And then, her voice. Yeah, maybe you're right. I just want to know he's really in this. That's when the switch flipped. I didn't knock. I didn't walk in. I turned around, got in my car, and smiled. They wanted to test me? Fine. I'd pass with flying colors, just not the way they expected. So when she finally sat me down and said, all fake sad and serious, "I think we need to break up," I gave them the show of their lives. I fell to my knees, grabbed my chest, shook my head and whispered, "No, please, not now. Who's going to help me pay off my secret gambling debts?" Her face dropped like a stone in water. Her friends, sitting smug behind her, blinked hard, like they just saw a ghost. And just like that, their little test turned into a nightmare. For them. We weren't perfect, but I thought we were real. We laughed together. Ate junk food at 2 a.m., shared playlists and inside jokes. She'd always nudge me and say, "You're the only one who gets me." And I believed her. I genuinely did. She had a tight-knit group of friends, girls she'd grown up with. They were loud, opinionated, and always in each other's business. But I didn't mind. I figured that was just how close friendships worked. Still, there were times I felt watched, judged. Her friends had a weird obsession with testing loyalty, like love was some puzzle that had to be solved through manipulation. One time, they dared another girl in their group to hide her boyfriend's phone for a day just to see how he'd react. Another time, they created a fake dating profile to catfish one of their exes. I remember thinking, that's insane. They called it just girl stuff. I called it toxic. But when you're in love, you look past red flags, right? You tell yourself, she's not like that. At least, I wanted to believe she wasn't. Things started feeling off about a month before it all blew up. She got a little more distant, started asking weird questions. Stuff like, "Would you still love me if I lost everything?" Or, "What would you do if I broke up with you out of nowhere?" I laughed it off. Said something dumb like, "I'd cry for a week, then live off pizza and sad movies." But she didn't laugh. She just stared at me with this strange, unreadable expression. Then she started dropping hints about figuring out where we stand. Once, while lying in bed, she casually asked, "Do you think people need to be tested to prove they're committed?" I shrugged. I think people should just talk to each other. That clearly wasn't the answer she wanted. She started hanging out with her friends more, texting less. Nothing too dramatic, just a slow fade, the kind you can only see clearly when it's already too late. I chalked it up to stress, assumed she needed space. The last thing I expected was that she'd be planning a fake breakup like some middle school prank gone nuclear. But that night, everything changed. I had picked up her favorite food, spicy ramen from that little hole-in-the-wall place she loved. I was planning to surprise her. No special occasion. Just a simple, "Hey, I love you." I got to her place and heard laughter from the open window before I even knocked. I should have left right then. Should have dropped the bag and walked away. But I heard my name. And curiosity kept my feet planted. That's when I heard her best friend say, Just tell him it's over and watch what he does. If he begs, he's in deep. If he shrugs, then you know. Then came the sound that burned itself into my memory. Her voice. Saying, "Okay, I'll do it." They all laughed. Like it was funny. Like I was a game. That was the moment I stopped being her boyfriend. And became something far more dangerous. Someone with nothing to lose. I didn't sleep that night. I laid there staring at the ceiling, running every conversation, every touch, every "I love you" through a filter I never wanted to apply. Was any of it real? Or was I just another chess piece in one of their little experiments? She had no idea I heard them. She came over the next day, all smiles, kissed me like nothing had changed. I kissed her back, calmly, gently, like I wasn't already building a plan in my head. Because I wasn't going to shout or cry or call her out. No. I was going to wait. They wanted to test me? Fine. I'd pass, with bonus points. For the next few days, I acted perfectly normal. Attentive. Sweet. Even overly affectionate. I knew she was probably reporting back to her friends. Telling them how I was acting. Letting them giggle and speculate about how devastated I'd be once she dropped the fake breakup bomb. They thought they were clever. What they didn't know. I was about to flip the whole damn table. On the 5th day, she asked me to come over and talk. Her voice was calm, but rehearsed. I could hear it, like someone memorizing lines for a scene. I walked in, sat on the edge of her bed, and waited. She took a deep breath, just like I expected, and said the words. "I think we should break up." Now if I hadn't known, that sentence would have shattered me. But I did know. And instead of falling apart, I leaned into it. I dropped my head. Took a shaky breath. Let silence hang heavy between us. Then, in the most pitiful, desperate voice I could muster, I whispered, "No, please, not now." Her eyebrows twitched. The smallest flicker of confusion crossed her face. I pressed harder. "I haven't even told you about the gambling debt." Her head tilted slightly, lips parting like she didn't quite hear me. "What?" I nodded slowly, trembling just a bit. "Yeah, I owe a lot of money. To people you really don't want to know. I was going to tell you. I just didn't know how." She blinked. Took a full step back. I saw movement in the hallway, her friends. Of course. They were here to witness it, to observe the big moment. But now they were frozen. Staring. I kept going. "You can't leave me right now," I said. "They know where I live. I'm scared, okay? I thought we were a team. You said we were a team." Her mouth opened and closed. No words. Her friends looked like they'd seen a ghost. And then, to really sell it, I added, "Babe, you said you'd help me. You said we'd get through it together. Please don't do this." One of her friends gasped. The room turned ice cold. And just like that, their little test turned into a scene from a psychological thriller. She looked around like she was trying to grab control of a car that had already flown off the cliff. "Wait, what gambling debt? What are you talking about?" I stared at her, silent. Just breathing. Letting her stew in the confusion, the awkwardness, the judgmental stares of her friends who suddenly weren't so sure this was a test anymore. She had no idea what to say. And that's when I knew. I had her exactly where I wanted. The silence after my last line was deafening. Her friends stared at her like she'd just confessed to helping me bury a body. You could feel the tension buzzing in the air, like a bomb had gone off, but no one could figure out where the smoke was coming from. She blinked rapidly, looking between them and me, trying to catch up. "What are you even saying?" she finally stammered. "This isn't funny." "I'm not laughing," I whispered. Then I looked directly into her eyes and added, "You were going to leave me, knowing everything I'm dealing with?" Her mouth fell open, but nothing came out. One of her friends stepped forward cautiously. "Wait, gambling debt? Like, serious?" I nodded solemnly. "Yeah, a lot." I didn't want to drag her into it, but she said we were forever. So I trusted her. Another friend, the ringleader, the one who told her to run this whole fake breakup plan, gave her the dirtiest look I've ever seen. Like she just found out her best friend had been harboring secrets that could get them all involved in something dark. I didn't know about this, my girlfriend muttered. He's lying. This isn't real. I tilted my head slowly. So now I'm lying? I thought this was a joke, she snapped. You're faking this. I looked her friends dead in the eyes. Faking? I pulled out my phone, unlocked it, and opened a fake debt collection email I had designed the night before. Subject line, Final Notice, Balance Due. I turned it toward them. This has been my life for months. They stared. She was shaking her head furiously now, sweat starting to collect on her brow. He's making this up. I didn't know. Her friends didn't look convinced. You told us you knew everything, one of them muttered. You said you were just testing his loyalty. Now you're saying he's in debt and you didn't say a word. It's fake. It's fake, she shouted. He's doing this to make me look bad. I stood, calm, and took a deep breath. And then I dropped the bomb. No, you did that all on your own, when you and your friends decided to treat me like a lab rat. When you thought loyalty was something that needed to be tested instead of earned. You wanted drama? Here it is. She stood frozen. Her face went red. Her hands trembled at her sides. Her friends looked furious. Not at me. At her. You made us sit through this whole breakup test, and you didn't even know the full story? One of them hissed. I didn't know because there is no story, she cried. He's lying. I smirked. Then maybe next time, you shouldn't run experiments on people who know how to play back. I turned around and walked to the door, letting the weight of my words hang in the air like fog. And just before I left, I glanced back one last time and said, Test failed. Click. Door shut. Silence. I didn't look back. I walked down her front steps like a man stepping out of a burning house he'd set on fire himself, with peace in his chest and nothing but ashes behind him. The second I got into my car, I started laughing. Quiet at first, then uncontrollable. Not because it was funny, but because it was over. The charade. The gaslighting. The smug, manipulative games. The constant feeling that I was being watched, judged, or toyed with. Gone. Finished. Done. My phone blew up within minutes. Texts from her. From her friends. Even from a mutual who apparently heard what happened within the hour. The group chat? Chaos. Is this real? Did he really owe money? Did she actually try to break up with him for a test? I didn't reply to any of them. Instead, I changed my relationship status. Posted a black and white photo of me sipping coffee at a rooftop cafe, wearing sunglasses, captioned, No longer a lab rat. Just a man with peace. And it exploded. People knew. Even those who weren't close to us had caught wind. She had built this perfect online image of our relationship, always smiling, always in love, always acting like we were #goals. And now, everyone saw the cracks. She tried calling. I ignored her. She sent voice notes, 3-minute-long pleas. It was a mistake, she said. They pressured me. I didn't mean for it to go that far. Right? Because faking a breakup to measure my worth is just a quirky oopsie, right? I blocked her. And her friends? Well, that was the twist. 2 of them apologized. Not to excuse themselves. They owned it. Said it got out of hand. Said they didn't expect me to flip the game like that. One of them even admitted she was kind of impressed. Not gonna lie, she wrote. You handled that like a boss. Yeah. I did. And the girlfriend? She spiraled. Fast. Mutual friends told me she deleted her social media for a while. Apparently she went on a rant to her inner circle saying I was the manipulative one. But no one bought it. They'd seen the messages. Heard the recordings. Because yes, I had recorded part of that fake breakup, just in case the story got twisted. Her test became her confession. And me. I started moving on. Met someone new a few months later. Someone who believed in communication instead of games. Someone who didn't need to break something just to test if it was strong enough. Every now and then, I still get tagged in memes about loyalty tests gone wrong. Makes me chuckle. Because she wanted to see if I'd beg for her. And what she got instead was a masterclass in asterisk don't mess with someone who pays attention. Months went by. I never unblocked her. Never responded to the final, please just talk to me email she sent weeks later with the subject line, asterisk, I made a huge mistake. Asterisk. Of course you did. But by then, it wasn't even about anger anymore. It was about principle. I wasn't going to waste another second on someone who thought testing my love meant breaking it to see if it healed. Love isn't a science experiment. It's not measured in how someone reacts to emotional manipulation. It's measured in trust, respect, the ability to say, hey, I'm feeling insecure, instead of, let me fake a breakup and get my friends to watch. That whole chapter closed. I had a new job, new city, new friends. The girl I was dating now didn't care about proving things. If she felt something, she said it. If I upset her, she told me. No silent games, no hidden cameras, no staged tests. Just honesty. Imagine that. One day, a mutual friend sent me a screenshot. It was a post from my ex's private story. Just plain text on a black screen. I wish I hadn't listened to them. I didn't respond. I didn't react. I just looked at it and thought, asterisk you listened to everyone but the person who actually loved you. Asterisk. And now? Now you're left explaining yourself to a screen that doesn't text back. I never needed revenge in the loud, dramatic way she feared. All I needed was peace. Distance. A quiet life where no one played games with my heart just to see if I'd cry. And the real kicker? In trying to test my loyalty, she ended up proving her own disloyalty. She burned the bridge she thought she could always walk back over. But I wasn't standing on the other side anymore. I had already built a new one, stronger, quieter, and completely out of her reach. And that was the real test. One she never saw coming, and never passed.